Hello, you beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle. We talk all things life, love, spirituality, law of attraction, and all of that juicy goodness. I have a guest appearance in my video today. It is my dad. Hope you guys don't think I'm a weirdo, but he has been coming through so strong today, and he spoke to me. For those of you that don't know, my dad passed away October 12th of 2021, so just this past October. And it was a very, very tough experience. He passed from lung cancer. I was in hospice with him when he passed. It was just him and I. I'm the youngest of four. We have a huge family. He's in a family of five, so we have tons of aunts and uncles and cousins and stuff. So the fact that I happened to be the one with him when he transitioned was powerful. So I feel his energy with me all the time, and he was with me this morning on my walk, and feel like he's just meant to be with us in this message that I'm going to share with all of you. And I have my favorite candle burning. I live in the US, and we are transitioning into fall in the next month or so. So one of my favorite scents is like a cinnamony, sugary, apple pie, pumpkin type of smell. And this is vanilla creme brulee, this candle, and it is bomb. It is so good. It smells like fall in here. It smells like something warm is cooking in the oven. So those are two of my favorite things that are with me in this video, my dad and my favorite scents. So in this video, speaking of scents, the scent is, we're going to talk about special gifts, the clairs. There's clairaudient, clairvoyant, claircognizant, clairsentient, and a few other ones that I talked about in another video, like your taste, your smell, your touch. There are also some clairs in there too. So we all have these special gifts, all of us. You watching, you have some of these gifts. So I'm going to describe them to you, and you can kind of pinpoint and be like, oh my gosh, that's me. I experienced that. Yep. And once we identify what our special gifts are, we can then start to use them for good. And we can start to see how they can enhance our lives, and they can show us, how can we live a more enriched life with service and inspiring others, and just making our day-to-day life better and more fun and more magical. So I'm going to go over all the clairs real fast. I'm going to list them all. I have them on my phone. So we have clairvoyant, claircognizant, clairsentient, clairaudient, clairalience, clairgustance, and clairtangency. So the last three, alience, gustance, and tangency, are the ones that I was not familiar with. Not until like maybe a couple months ago. I had no idea. I was like, whoa, I didn't even know they were clairs. And they're all about the taste and touch, and how people can receive messages from their loved ones that have passed away, hence my dad. I always smell cigarette smoke when nobody is smoking around me, and it's just that's his communication to me. And we actually talked about this before he passed away. I was like, Dad, what signs are you going to send me? And he told me rainbows, and he told me cigarette smoke. So we joked because cigarettes are obviously so unhealthy, but when I smell, I'll be walking down the street, or I'll be with people out and about in a store, and I'll smell smoke, and I'm like, oh, my dad's here with me. So how many of you out there have had this experience where you're smelling something and it's reminding you of your grandparents, your parents, a loved one that has passed away? Or maybe you're just smelling something and you're like, wait, why am I the only one smelling this? And it might not remind you of anybody. This might mean you have a special gift of being able to deliver a message to somebody else. So you might be smelling something that a spirit or a guide or a guardian angel is making you smell for you to deliver to the person that you're closest to. What if you were in a store and you were smelling this beautiful perfume scent, and all of a sudden you hear the clerk talking about her grandmother that passed away that had this beautiful flowery scent. And here you are 2 aisles over smelling something, and you're like, why am I smelling this? I'm in like a video shop, whatever it is. You might be a messenger. Her grandmother might be using you to deliver a message to her. How cool is that? And don't be weirded out, and don't be freaked out and be like, oh my gosh, am I a medium? We all have this ability to receive messages. We are all on a radio station. And when we tune our dial, right? When we get rid of the static, when we really tune in and get clear, we eat good food, we raise our vibration, we work out, we are opening up our channel to receive messages. And you might receive them through taste, through smell, through seeing things. Maybe you see colors and auras. We're going to get all into it. But what I want to share here is that we all have these gifts. And I am here to wake you up to yours so that you can start using it for good in this world. You chose to incarnate during this time in the world when it's chaotic and it's wild and we're transitioning into a better life. You chose to be in that body to do a mission. And part of your mission might be using these gifts. And it really might make your life a whole lot easier if you can understand it and navigate it and figure out what it means. So you're not sitting here wondering, well, what does that mean when I see this? Or I'm hearing a knock, but there's nobody knocking on my door. What does that mean, Michelle? I can help you understand it. Okay, let's break it down. We're going to do the first one, claircognizant. This is like a deep knowing. So a lot of people that are predicting the future, or maybe you can see what's happened in the past, it's a knowing. You just know something's going to happen. Maybe you're driving down the street and all of a sudden you get this urge to slow down. And then a car runs a red light and you just miss it. You had a knowing. Your soul was guiding you to slow down. This is your special gift. You might have a knowing that, oh, I don't want to go to that restaurant tonight. I just don't have a good feeling about that. And then you hear later that there was a fire in the kitchen of that restaurant. So you're able to use this gift to kind of predict the future. But we don't always know why we're not drawn to go somewhere. We just know the feeling. And it's a knowing. There's also something called precognition and retrocognition, which is retro is seeing the past. You might be talking to somebody and you get this huge feeling or visual, and you can almost see their past and what they've been through. That could be a special gift too. And then the precognition is you seeing the future. Maybe it's in a dream. I had a dream about COVID before COVID hit. It was December. I was working at my school that I taught at. Came to school one day. I was talking to the girls in the office. And I was like, you guys, I had a dream that the school closed down. Everything shut down and they were cleaning the walls and they were sterilizing everything. But I didn't know it was a virus. And I didn't know what it was. I just knew that everything shut down and we were cleaning things and sanitizing. So in December, I had that dream and it was the knowing, right? And then in March, it finally clicked and my coworkers were texting me, Michelle, do you remember your dream? We're like, oh my God, the world shut down and we're cleaning everything and we're keeping our distance and wearing masks. So I didn't always know, I can't always interpret my dreams, but my special gift is I do sometimes have this knowing about things coming in advance. You might too. And with claircognizant, it also could be telepathy. You might be able to say things at the same time as somebody else. And you're like, oh my gosh, I was just thinking the same thing. Or you go to grab your phone to text somebody at the same time. You have this special antenna to understand, to know when the right time is to do something. And you know what they're thinking and you know what they're feeling. It's a really interesting gift and it can be scary because you're like, this is too out there. This is too weird. How am I reading your thoughts? But at the time we're thinking the thoughts, we don't really know that they're their thoughts until they confirm it to us. I know for me, that's the case. I always think that I can read people's minds, but sometimes I'm wrong. So I always wait for them to confirm it back to me. Okay, anything else I want to touch on there? Nope, that was good. Okay, next one. Oh, there was one more thing. Claircognizant could also be you knowing a topic, or maybe you take a science class in elementary school and your teacher is like, how do you know all of this when you've never learned this subject before? It's like you're bringing information from a past life to this lifetime. Or maybe you're hopping timelines and in the future, you're going to be some genius scientist and you're in elementary school already knowing your path and you already have the information planted in your mind and you're way ahead of everybody in your class. That could also be claircognizant. And then there also could be you knowing people before they show up in your life. So you might have a dream about somebody's face, and then 3 weeks later, you meet this person and you're like, you were in my dream. What does that mean? And our human mind always wants to label it, oh, that's the person I'm going to marry. We are all souls here and we are all so connected. We're all here to help each other grow in some way. So you might be remembering and knowing who's coming into your life for a new lesson. This person could just be a lesson. They could be a coworker. They could be a great friend. They could be a partner, a romantic partner. But of course, the human mind is so designed for the love story that as soon as we pinpoint one person in a dream, we just assume that they're a soulmate. And I like to define soulmate as all kinds of people. We're just all souls and we're mates. We're here to help each other grow. Okay, next one I have down is clairvoyant. This is seeing. So this is sometimes when your eyes are closed, if you have visions, if you see words in block lettering, you might see colors. And if you're seeing colors, I highly recommend looking up the chakra system, because the chakra system is designed with certain colors that represent each chakra. Like the heart chakra is the color green, throat chakra is blue, your crown chakra is purple. And I am Reiki level 2 certified. So I learned about the chakra system when I had to get certified for Reiki, and I learned about all these colors and how they relate to ailments in the body and illness and basically your connection to spirit and to God. When your system is clear and all your chakras are spinning and working in alignment, you are fully open to source and you can get messages, you can use your gifts more clearly. So if you're seeing a color, your guides and angels might be trying to tell you that that's a chakra that is blocked in you, and you might need to go see a practitioner or start to do some meditations focusing on that chakra. You know, for instance, you might have like a urinary tract infection, right? And you go to the doctor and you're about to take medicine, and you might not want to take medicine because antibiotics completely kill our gut bacteria and they're so not good for us. So you might want to go the holistic route, right? And you have this UTI, and all of a sudden, maybe you meditate the day before or something, and you keep seeing the color orange. Orange represents your sacral chakra, which is your reproductive system, your womb space. And that area is where, your bladder is. So that's your guides are showing you the color orange to connect you to your sacral chakra, which is connecting you to the urinary tract infection. And they're saying, hey, you have an energy block there. And if you can go get Reiki or go see a practitioner, they can heal you and you can work through what trauma you might be holding on to, a trauma from your past in that chakra system. And as soon as you release it, for me, my sacral chakra was on fire and was so blocked because I lost my daughter. That's the womb space. I held my daughter in my womb. So after my daughter passed, my sacral chakra was out of whack. I always had issues. That was something I had to heal energetically, but it was also something I had to deal with emotionally. And it all aligned, and I'm good and I'm healthy now. But can you see how you being clairvoyant and seeing colors can be a message to help your body heal? It's really wild and it's really cool. So do your research on the colors if you're seeing colors. What else could be clairvoyant? Seeing energy. Maybe you're even seeing spirits. You might be seeing shadows in the room. Don't worry. The best thing that you can do to protect yourself in your spaces, if you're kind of scared of spirits, is you command the space. You say only the highest and whitest light beings are allowed in the space. Everybody else, you must leave. I've had to do that many times. We have to demand these lower vibrations out of our spaces. And I don't see them as ghosts or demons or anything. It's just a low vibration. It's just like a lower energy. And they love the light. They want to cling to you because you're so beautiful and bright. So we just have to say, sorry, thank you. Nope, no lower vibrations here. Only the highest and whitest light beings are welcome here. Archangel Michael, please put your shield around my home, around my bedroom, around my bed, around me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And you just start praying and commanding your space. Because I know a lot of my clients have the gift of being clairvoyant and they can see things and it freaks them out. But if you learn to command your space, nothing can attack you, okay? All right, and I mean attack you energetically. Like if you have a really bad headache or if you feel like you have restless leg syndrome. For me, when I get restless legs, I know that there's a lower vibration like pulling on me. So I get up, I cleanse with Palo Santo, I command my space, and I go back to bed and I'm fine and it's gone. It's pretty wild. Lavender water is huge too to cleanse a space. Also, when you're clairvoyant, a lot of times the lettering that I was talking about, you might just like have quick visions. You might see words really flash in front of you, whether your eyes are open or closed. When I'm doing readings with people, my guides will give me a quick flash of like somebody at a park, a quick flash of somebody in their car. And I just get a quick little, it's like my imagination. I'm just imagining something, but it happens very quickly. And I know I didn't conjure it up. Okay, so that's clairvoyant. So we did claircognizant, clairvoyant, clairsentient. Now, this is my special gift. This is feeling. So there's clairsentient and clairempath. Empath is the emotional feeling. Clairsentient is the physical feeling. So my guides just made me burp right as I was doing this. How perfect is that? Oh my gosh. So physical feeling, the clairsentient is that. It's me burping, it's me itching, it's me saying that my belly feels tight or my chest feels heavy or I have a headache or my ears are ringing. Your body feels something and it's out of nowhere, out of the blue, and you're not quite sure why you're feeling it. That's being clairsentient. You're being sent a message from your guides, from somebody else's guides around you, and they're wanting you to deliver a message to somebody else. So if I get some chest pain during a reading with a client, I might know that, wow, the chest is the heart chakra. This person might have gone through a breakup. And I'm feeling it at the start of the reading, and I'm like, okay, my chest is heavy. This person might have just lost somebody they love. They might be going through a divorce, a breakup, or maybe they literally have a heart condition. So I prompt and then kind of like pull it out of them to see if they have any like, loss or breakup. And it's cool because my guides are using my body as a tool to help this person heal. And then I can offer space for them to talk about what they're going through. So it's a really beautiful thing. If you have any of these gifts, and if you're like so interested in this topic and you're listening and you're like, oh my gosh, I can help you. I do one-on-one coaching. I do intuitive readings with people. If you want to learn to start tapping into your gifts, everything's in the description box below. Reach out to me. I would love to sit down with you one-on-one and help you open up your gifts and then give you the tools on how to use them. So everything I'm sharing right now, I did not know a couple of years ago. I learned all of this through practice and through working with my mentor. So we all need help, and we want to make sure, this is a big piece, eyes open, ears open, heart open. We want to make sure we're delivering the highest, whitest light messages. Because if we open up our gifts and we allow those lower vibrations to jump into a reading or to jump into a session with somebody, they're going to bring forth some messages that might say, go spend $100 on lottery tickets. These kind of lower vibrations will literally pull you to do things to get you in trouble. And we have to make sure we open sacred space before every reading, before every session, and only call in the highest and whitest light. Okay? Sometimes I say, spirit guides of the highest truth and compassion. That's a good one. I learned that from Gabby Bernstein. Spirit guides of the highest truth and compassion, please watch over me when I'm driving. Please watch over my nieces and my nephews. Please bless this food that's about to enter my body. Please help my body digest it so well. I am always calling on my guides of the highest truth and compassion. That way, no other beings can jump in, because those lower vibrations will jump onto your body and they'll make you go use cigarettes, or they'll make you go grab more of that addictive substance that you're using. And that's why we need to cleanse our aura. So we are ridding our body of these lower vibrations. Okay, so clairsentient, you are a feeler. Empath, you are emotionally feeling what's happening to somebody around you. So it's so important to cleanse our energetic field after we come in contact with people if we are clairsentient, because you're feeling what other people are feeling. And how do we know whether it's ours or theirs? We have to get really good and be on our own a lot to kind of tune into what our energy is versus other people's energy. I know the minute I leave my house and I'm around somebody else, and I all of a sudden start to feel nervous, or I start to get nervous about money, or I start to get worried about my health. And I'm like, I was just in my house 10 minutes ago and I was not thinking these thoughts. And now I'm standing next to a neighbor or somebody out in, the parking lot, and I'm talking to them and I get this wave of fear. I know that that's their fear, and I don't have to take that with me. And actually in that moment when I feel it, I pray for them. I'll say, Archangel Michael, they'll be talking to me and I'll be in my head going, Archangel Michael, put your white light around them. Please take their fear from them. Please protect them. Please make them feel safe. And it's funny, a lot of people leave the conversations with me and they're like, Michelle, you just make me feel so much better every time I talk to you. And I'm like, yeah, it's because your angels and your guides are clearing your energy because I'm talking to them while you're talking. And I'm always putting my white light around them. Not my white light, but I'm asking for white light to be put around them. So I highly recommend doing that too for your loved ones who are suffering. You can pray while you're with them, and you can ask, these higher beings are here to help us. Let them do the work. It's not our job to cleanse people. Let our higher spirit family do all the work. And remember, calling on the highest and whitest light beings, nobody else. Okay, so clairsentient, you could have chills, a gut feeling, pins and needles, burping, ringing in the ears, a clear physical feeling in your legs, arms. You can also sense what animals are going through. You can sense energy in the room. You can read a room really well. And this is a huge thing. If you have children and your child goes to a store with you and all of a sudden they have a complete freak out and they want to go home, they might be feeling a bad, low vibration in that store, and you need to honor that. You need to take them home and say, okay, I don't want you suffering, because I know what it's like to be in my body and to be in a space where I feel like I'm being smothered by something. And I hate when I see kids suffering and their parents are like, suck it up, let's go, we have food to get, we got to go get the milk, we got to go do this. When the kid's literally suffering and their body is so sensitive and these lower vibrations are pulling on their energy and they can't protect themselves. They don't have somebody praying for them. So if you have children in your life, educate them to command space, educate them to cleanse their aura, use lavender water, and tell them to speak their truth. If they don't feel good in a space, there could be a bad energy in that space, and we have to listen to our children. They are our beacons. Okay, another one, clairaudient. This is my favorite one, hearing. So this is like music. I always hear music when it's not playing, or I'll think of a song and I'm like, all right, guides, all right, angels, you have me thinking of that song and it reminds me of this person. I'm going to text that person and say hi to them and check on them. So when you're hearing things, I also hear a lot of knocking. I always hear knocking during my readings or when I'm just meditating. That's always a sign that there's a door opening. There's a new opportunity coming. You could hear like a hose. Sometimes people hear water. Sometimes people hear like screeching. It depends on you and your gifts and how your guides like to communicate to you with what kind of sounds. A lot of times I'll hear like a bee buzzing. That's a sign from my dad too. He used to buzz in my ear to wake me up in the morning and like rub his mustache on my cheek. So sometimes I'll be working out and I'll hear like a buzzing noise in my AirPods and I'm like, I'll take it out and be like, what was that? And I'll put it back in and it'll go again. And I'll be like, all right, hi, Dad. So as you guys can see, I'm sharing a lot of my experiences with all of the different clairs. And that might be you too. You might have more than one clair. And it's beautiful, right? We have this ability to tap in and to get messages. And then imagine if we can use it to help people, which is what I love to do. And that's why I'm teaching all of you this, because I bet you half of you on my channel are meant to be doing this kind of work. You're meant to be helping people with your gifts. And I'm here to educate you on that. So another thing with clairaudient, they also consider this somebody who is writing music, writing books, channeling speeches. When you are putting out messages, you're hearing what you need to put on the paper. You're hearing the poem, you're hearing the song in your head. For me, when I'm channeling all of these videos, I am just hearing what I should be saying and I say it. So being clairaudient is kind of being a channel to deliver music, books, letters, poems, all these cool things. Okay, let's move into the last three. These are going to be quick. Clairalience, which is smelling, clairgustance, which is tasting, and clairtangency, which is touch. So with the touch, I talked about it in another video. This necklace I used to wear all the time when my daughter was here, and prior to her being born, I wore it when I was pregnant. It's a really beautiful color. I had it like wrapped around my neck 3 times. It's like a little choker, kind of like that vibe. Isn't that cute? I probably should still wear it, but I don't. But if I were to take this to go see a medium, she would hold it or he would hold it, and they would get messages from my loved one by touch, them holding an object, holding glasses. They might see memories of the person wearing the glasses and what they were doing. And it's a beautiful way to connect. So that's called clairtangency. Clairgustance is taste. This could mean you're out and about and all of a sudden you taste peaches, or you're tasting cinnamon and you're like, why am I tasting this in my mouth and I don't have this food in my mouth? You might be getting a message from spirit for somebody else. Maybe your best friend is with you at the movies and you're tasting peaches and you know this about yourself and you're like, why am I tasting peaches right now? And she'll be like, my grandmother just passed away and she loved peaches. She used to can them. So these little moments, if we don't speak up, we might not have the opportunity to comfort that girl who just lost her grandmother, who knows that she's kind of pulling through using you as a messenger. And don't be scared by this. Don't be scared. Just think if roles were reversed and say you are up in heaven or whatever you want to believe in, and your loved one is sitting in a movie theater and you're like, oh, I just want to say hi to them. They can't see me. They can't hear me. What can I do to make them to know that I'm with them? And you know that the person sitting next to them is gifted and they're open and they're willing to speak their truth and they're willing to ask about why they're seeing, tasting, or smelling something. So you make them smell something or taste something that that is not physically there. It is just love. Don't be scared by it. It's just a loved one trying to give love to somebody else. And you just might be the messenger. And what a gift that is, right? All right, last one. Clairvoyance. This is smell. So this is one of my favorite ones too. Again, like I said, with my dad, I smell cigarette smoke, or I'll smell like cinnamon, or I'll smell these just very unique. There was this Calvin Klein cologne that a high school boyfriend of mine, I think it was Calvin Klein, a certain like cologne, and it brings back such a good memory from my past. And I know I've talked to other mediums and people, when it's a certain scent like that, it's reminding you of so many different things. And it could be a message from spirit saying, hey, when I smell that Calvin Klein scent and I'm in a reading with somebody, I'm going to be prompted to say, hey, your guides are telling me that something happened in high school to you, because that's my indicator from my high school experience. Does that make sense? So it's a system, it's a language. They're using my senses to help me remember a time in my life that's going to help my client remember a time in their life. So it's a really, really cool way to connect the dots. And again, I did not just come up with this on my own. I've taken classes, I've learned about all this, and I kind of should go a little bit deeper in, I should educate myself even more and probably take a mediumship class, but I'm just not ready for that yet. But learning about the clairs and identifying which one is you and which one you really are welcoming, you can ask your guides to open up your gifts even more. If you don't want to open up a certain gift, like seeing, like you don't want to be clairvoyant, you don't want to see spirits, you can say, guides, please keep that closed. Guides of the highest truth and compassion, I would not like to be using that gift. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have a choice to use what we want to use. You can decline anything. Okay, so if your voice is so important in the spiritual path, commanding a space, calling in what you want, and calling out what you don't want. So I hope this video helped you. You all have a special gift inside of you. And if you need help, I can help you open it up, start using it. And a lot of us are having dreams that are very, very vivid lately. And I feel called to say this right now, but if you're getting frightening dreams or scary dreams, that might not be messages. That could just be your ego and your mind playing tricks on you, and you're really feeding into it. Remember, messages are never negative. They are always there for you, not to hurt you and not to scare you. And if you're listening to this going, I need to learn more about this, Michelle, book a session with me. I'm telling you, even just 1 hour can educate you so much on your gifts and on the spirit world and what to look out for, what to put a shield up to. So we all need guidance. All right, lovies, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.